movie notes on Harriet, 2019 film, 29 April 2025 viewing. Today is Tuesday, 29 April 2025, and I, Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, talk through my movie notes for this viewing of the 2019 film Harriet, which is a biographical film about Harriet Tubman and her interactions with the slavery system in the United States of America at the home, local, and geographically larger societal scales. Yes. So I said I've seen this before, and I've done at least one notes video before on this last year, 2024. And returning to it now, kind of trying to describe it a little bit different and kind of highlight thinking of Harriet Tubman. So she was a slave who escaped from the her captors, so to speak, slave owners. And then once she escaped, she continued helping other slaves escape as well. And so essentially it was like, how would I describe that? Right? There's people who attain like family notability, local notability, and like geographically larger, and she had all of those things. So it's like, oh, this is like kind of a building of historical presence, maybe is the word I'll use. So there we go. And I watched a little bit of a filter this time with, I picked it up because Joe Alwyn in it, and he's, what, Gideon Thomas? They call him Mr. Thomas at some point. The slave owner of central importance in this movie. And does the inclusion of one of my guys make me a more engaged audience member? Yes. And it actually positively reinforces. So I was watching it and I had to go get a snack. And I was like, I'm not going to keep it playing while I walk out of the room. I'm going to press pause. So, press the space bar to pause the movie. And I got my snack and came back to my room and sat down, pressed the space bar again. And like 2 seconds later, Joe Alwyn was on screen. And I was like, if I had not paused it, I would have missed his face. So I was like, yes, in that sense. But for this movie, yes. I'm just focusing on this movie. So yeah, it did. Okay. I've read a number of biographies / autobiographies and watched a number of biographical films. It's only 2 hours and some minutes, and it's covering this entire person's life, but it's not, right? There's a lot that gets left out. So what might have been left out of the movie? Perhaps something like I have been experiencing and am experiencing. This is one of those ones where it's like really icky, and some people are like, why did she run? Like, run away. It's like, maybe there was something like going on in my life when that's why she ran away. So let me kind of describe it. So my sister and her husband had scheduled to each rape me on Saturday, 26 April 2025, with the intent of getting me pregnant with a baby boy. As I am a female type known to die in childbirth if the offspring is male, my sister was planning on taking my child and claiming it to be her blood offspring. She had been planning to be in the city of Tanis in Egypt on the due date of 26 January 2026 to celebrate that she, Lindsay, is the chosen one of God. What happened? They were not invited to come where I lived that day, 26 April 2025. Then my dad invited them day of to come over. Door wide open to rape me. It was a bit of a turnoff. The trip she is planning to Egypt is still a go as far as I know, and she is planning to go with my aunt Danette. I have not ever been to Egypt. My area of concern is tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday, 30 April 2025. They intend on coming where I live tomorrow by invitation of my dad. If he does not want them to rape me, he can uninvite them. If they do not want to rape me, they cannot come. So big question. Did something like this happen in the life of Harriet Tubman and not get included in the movie? If so, should it have bbeen included in the movie? I think they made the right call to not include it if it did happen, or if it did not happen. Or they didn't make it up and put it in if it didn't happen. Kind of thing. So either way, I think they made the right call not including it. Why do I bring this up? In the movie, the slaves called the slave owner, the older one towards the beginning, who was less central throughout the whole movie. In the movie, the slaves called the slave owner, the older one, the devil, when he said the babies of the slaves would belong to him. what my sister and her husband intended to do to me. All right. Between the slaves and my sister, I choose the slave's outlook, which makes my blood sister an antichrist contender in my eyes. So, well, my sister views her own behavior as she is the chosen one of God, and the slaves in a baby stealing situation called the people doing the baby stealing the devil. And I was like, I actually agree with them. Lindsay Lou, is it Lindsay Lou? Lindsay, you are the Antichrist. There we go. In my eyes. So there we go. This is my movie note. I agree with the slaves. Okay. Way of finding out, my sister is a slave owner type. Yeah. All right. Movie notes on Harriet 2019 film, 29 April 2025 viewing.